One of our viewers, Anthony from New York City, asked, should you be blunt and tell people what you actually think in business? So let's think about this. How many people in your life tell you the honest to God truth about what you're working on or about your vision or about, the big decisions that you have to make? And there's really two sides of this coin when we think about this. The first is how you speak to people. Are you going to be blunt even when it's difficult? Or if it's really a tough conversation, are you going to water things down a little bit so that you don't have to hurt the other person's feeling? The other side of the coin is how are you going to train others to talk to you? For example, do you think life would be a lot easier if you had people around you who told you the truth, or would you rather not hear everybody's thoughts so that you could just keep doing what you're doing? And I'll tell you what's best in business. But first, think about that for a second. Really think about it in your life. What do you feel you'd be most comfortable with in life? So, should you be blunt? That's the question. Personally, early on in my career, I used to tell people what I thought they wanted to hear. And I very possibly may have done some of them a disservice by doing that. Because as I started building companies, I discovered that the truth spoken from experience is so rare in business. And it's the people who have access to the truth backed by experience that always win. Let me repeat that. It's the people who have access to the truth backed by experience that always win in business. Not your opinion, but your experience. Big difference. Opinion versus experience. You might want to keep your opinion to yourself in business, but when you know from experience that somebody should be doing something different, whether it's for their personal growth or to align with your company brand, you tell them. Personally, if I don't have experience, then I shut the hell up. And before I knew that, I was never really able to make a big profit and grow companies and build leadership teams until I became very blunt in how I communicated with the people around me, with my team, with my vendors, with my friends, right? Everybody. And yes, I upset some people by being really honest with them, and I lost some relationships along the way. In fact, I had an employee literally cry during a performance appraisal early on when I used to do those myself, before I had other people on my team who handled performance appraisals. But I remember sitting with an employee who literally cried because after I listed everything that they were doing that was great, I mentioned two things that they needed to work on. And I remember being super kind about it. But that person quit a few days later because they didn't feel comfortable working someplace where everything that they did was not appreciated by the boss. And to be honest, that hurt me. Right? I had no idea how I could treat a team member so well, pay them so well, train them so well, set up a really great place for them to work. And I even gave them bonuses when they went over and above for the company. Yet, when I pointed out an area of their job, what they're getting paid for, their job that they were lacking, and I asked them how we could work together to help them become better at that, they quit. And I remember when that happened, I took their manager out to lunch. And we went through this whole process to make sure that we as a company, we're not treating anybody on the team poorly. And it turned into this whole team meeting where we got everybody together, everybody in a room, and we discussed the fact that this person was not going to be there with us any longer and why they weren't going to be with us any longer. And that led to a stronger culture in the company, right? It was an amazingly good thing for us. So many business books tell you that your employees should never be put in a position where they're afraid of being fired because that kills culture and it kills loyalty. I believe something different. What I found is that people are not afraid of being fired. They're afraid of not knowing if they're going to be fired or not knowing if what they're doing is enough. The difference is simply having a clear job description and accountability built into it, and a clear, kind, yet blunt conversation with them so that they know if they're fulfilling their responsibilities. And if they're doing good, then celebrate them. And if they're not, then help them become better with training and with additional meetings so that they get the help that they need. And if they're still not doing what needs to be done after they've gotten some help, then there's no shock to them, right? There's no ambiguity in the situation. They know they're not doing what's needed. So it's not a surprise when you either move them to a different part of the company or you move them out and you write them a nice reference letter so that they could get a job someplace else at another company, someplace where they'll be happier and their talents will be a better fit. I surround myself now with people who not only want to grow, but are eager to hear the truth so that they could grow at a fast, respectable rate. Being blunt in business, not meaning that you're rude, but telling people the truth in a kind way so they're never guessing at what you're thinking, makes the right people feel comfortable around you. And the year that I started being more open with people about how they're doing and about what I needed from them was the first year that we not only met, but we exceeded our target for revenue. Now, before I give you the second powerful part to this, again, if this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you're first in line to get each video, because knowing this kind of stuff makes you a better leader and a far more successful entrepreneur. So the first side of the coin is how you speak to other people. The second side of this is creating a culture where people know how to speak to you. Because one thing becomes very, very clear as you scale larger and larger in business. It becomes more evident when you pass the $1 million mark, and far more evident in your team when you pass the $10 million mark, and immensely evident when you pass the $50 or $100 million mark. The people around you do not want to correct you, or they don't want to lose their job by being honest with you if they don't like one of your ideas. So it's difficult for us as owners to get the truth from our people until it's too late, right? And people start quitting or your numbers start to go down. Because as we grow, that yes man syndrome becomes far more pronounced, where people tell you your ideas are wonderful. They start dressing like you, so you begin thinking your fashion sense is amazing. And people start using the same kind of words that you use when you speak, and no one tells you you're wrong. You say something, they say yes. That's the yes man syndrome. And although some executives love that feeling, it's always short-lived, because unless you know the truth, the decisions you make in business will be flawed and will eventually stunt your growth. And one of the most important exercises that I do in my life, and I've been doing this on and off for the past 15 years, is a full 360 review, where people in my life can either anonymously or not fill out a questionnaire about me and my decisions and the way that I react to people in every aspect inside of my life, right? They fill out this survey on me, and the results go to an expert who put them all together and deliver to me this report that helps me to understand how to be a better leader, and how to be a better communicator, how to be a better CEO, or how to be a better person in general. But also, there's a few people who I value their input so much that I not only get that cumulative report, but if they're okay with me seeing exactly what they wrote, I get their entire survey so that I could see specifics from them. Now, when you do this, when you do it in your own life, and you allow people the option of being anonymous, the feedback you get will be eye-opening, because it'll be the very first time you get truly honest feedback. And I highly suggest you do this in your life. And there's a lot of resources out there for 360 reviews. However, I'm going to be quite honest with you. You do not need to hire a company to do this for you. We now use our own proprietary 360 review for every person on our team. And we do that at least once a year. And it's been a game changer for our companies. And it's helped people see leadership qualities inside of themselves that they would have never seen before. So if you want to develop leaders inside of your company, or bring out the best leader inside of you, then this is a way to catapult you years ahead of where you could be. And if you can find a group of people in your life and have them honestly fill out a 360 review on you, the insight you get will make you far more successful in life, if you're open to hearing the truth, right? You gotta be open to hearing the truth. And before you do this, you gotta prep them so that they know that you want them to be super honest with you, right? Like let them know you just need their feedback, and that you'll never even know who actually filled these things out. And the real value here is not just that you very quickly learn how to be more effective as a leader and as a communicator and as a person in general, but it also trains the people around you to always be honest with you. And when the people around you are honest with you, you'll have the insight you need to make better, faster, more profitable decisions. Now, if you want to see part of that 360 review that I use in my companies, go over to builttogrowreview.com. You could take that 360 review for yourself for free every 6 months, and you'll get specific, personalized input on how to scale faster and more predictably, and how to be a better leader. Again, it's builttogrowreview.com, and if you go there right now, it's free for you to use. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss a video when I put one out. And let me know what else you want me to cover in the comments below. I'll read them and I'll try to give you everything that you want in upcoming videos. Now subscribe and hit the bell notification and click the next video right over here.